This is Al Bundy, and he is the main character of a TV show called Married with Children. You see, back in his day, Al once scored 4 touchdowns in one game in the Chicago City Championship, and was a star fullback for Polk High before becoming a woman's shoe salesman.
Just about had enough of you.
Well, you wouldn't say that if I came with fries and a medium drink.
But Al had broken his leg in a football game, resulting in him losing a lot of his scholarships. And he would marry his high school girlfriend one day when he was drunk, but eventually he would regret not pursuing football seriously.
And the lowly shoe man, who once had been a mighty athlete in high school and scored 4 touchdowns in one game, and had many offers to junior colleges and could have made something of his life.
So what if Al Bundy went on to play college football? Well, we're going to be finding that out today as we follow him on his road to glory. Coming out of high school, Al was a 4-star recruit who was focused on winning a national title and making it to the league one day. But although he was pursuing college football, it didn't mean he was breaking up with his girlfriend Peggy. So wherever he went to college, he wanted to shoot somewhere close to his home of Chicago, Illinois. So based on the offers that he was getting, and although he would start as a backup, Al Bundy decided to stay close to home and attend Illinois. And to start the season off, they have Al Bundy at his true position as a fullback, which made sense because he wasn't often going to go around you, but he would go right through you, sometimes even if he didn't have to. And the coaches really liked that physicality in his game, so they were excited to see what he could do with a few reps against this FCS team. To start this game off, they have Al in on the first play, and already he's showing his ability by hauling in this catch over the middle. But even though he did make a nice play, the coaches wouldn't really need him for a while until the second quarter. But it was bad timing because his girlfriend Peggy came to the game complaining about some stuff.
You never want to huddle with me.
Well, put a helmet and a face mask on and we'll talk about it.
But as soon as she got off the field, they handed the ball off to Al Bundy, and he was steamrolling his way into the end zone for his first touchdown of his career, already making a huge impact for the Fighting Illini. And you might be surprised to find out that he wasn't done, because they sent him out for a pass where he caught it and said "Wing" to a guy, and then ran it all the way into the end zone for his second touchdown of the game, as Al helps to expand this lead. Well, they didn't put him back into the fourth quarter, but he was still making some nice plays through the air and on the ground. Illinois would end up winning this game 49-10, and Al Bundy was surprised to find out that he won player of the game. He only had 65 yards rushing, but he had 2 touchdowns, and also the 8 receptions for 123 yards through the air probably helped. But going into a game against the ranked Kansas team, Al Bundy was not seeing the field. They put him in the second quarter where he got a few yards here and there before coming right back out. And then again in the third quarter where he would continue to do some good work for this offense. And it felt like in crunch time when they needed to get a first down, they brought him back in to make a play, which he did right here and allowed the Fighting Illini to take a knee and leave this game victorious. Al spent large amounts of time throughout his week trying to get better so he can get more time in the game. But before this game against Central Michigan, Al actually found out that the reason why he's not getting playing time is because he was making jokes about the coach's daughter being fat. So they continued to bench him throughout the majority of the games. But when he did get in, he was doing a great job making the most of his opportunities. There was even a play where he got open and ran over a few guys before picking up a huge chunk of yardage. Illinois won this game 37-0. And this is where Al realized that his team could be something really special. But they knew that they would be even better if he was out there making plays for them. So he worked hard to upgrade his abilities and earn a better role at practice, because Illinois still had a few big games coming up. The next one against imposter Mahomes in Nebraska. Every time Al was getting in the game early on in this season, he was doing his best to maximize his opportunity. They didn't have a lot of good receivers, so they were passing Al the ball a lot, which he got used to. He was often picking up first downs, sometimes even touchdowns, kind of like what you see right here on this play. As Al Bundy races past everybody and gets into the end zone for his first touchdown in a few weeks. And anytime he got the ball before halftime, he was still causing carnage, but absolutely trucking people. They took him out to the fourth quarter where he was also showing how effective he can be on the ground, picking up another huge first down before Illinois was able to leave Nebraska with a 38-14 win. But after the game, Al had to catch up on some classwork, because he wasn't just busy with football, he also had a part-time job.
Hey, bartender, let's hurry up with those drinks.
But once Al got all caught up, he was ready to play in his next game against Penn State. They didn't have Al playing until around halftime when they were down by 10, and he didn't really seem to be the answers to their problems. Throughout the majority of this game, anytime Al tried to touch the ball, he would get clamped up. But the Illini would end up fighting back anyway and tying this game at 17. Al made a nice play on the final drive to help bring his team downfield, but eventually they would all bring it down and score a field goal as they upset the number 6 team in the country. And at this point, Al is clamoring to become a starter. And the coaches are starting to not only recognize, but respect it. Because eventually Al Bundy would earn the opportunity to become the lead ball carrier for the Illinois Fighting Illini. And I don't even know who the starter was, but he was no match for someone who scored 4 touchdowns in one game in high school. Al Bundy was absolutely dominating this competition. And by the end of practice, he was named the starting halfback for the team. But now going into next week, Al was ready to get into his first game as the starter against Purdue. To start this game off, they were handing the ball off a lot to Al Bundy, just testing to see how many carries he's willing to take. Even handing him the ball on 4th down, which seemed to be a great idea as he picks up a huge gain. And then down near the goal line, he just bulldozes his way into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game. The celebration wouldn't last too long though, because on the next drive, as Al goes out to pass, the cornerback breaks hard on the ball and intercepts it before taking it all the way to the crib for 6. Other than that though, this offense was really clicking, as the quarterback was delivering dimes to everybody all over the field. They got near the red zone where Bundy brought him down near the goal line and eventually stuffed it into the end zone for another touchdown on his day. With Purdue up 3 after halftime, somebody needed to make a play, and Al wanted to be the player to step up. They handed the ball off to Bundy on this play, and he just zooms past everybody and makes his way into the end zone for another touchdown, giving Illinois the lead back. But right as the momentum was looking Illinois' way, the quarterback gets strip-sacked for a fumble, and the defender actually picks it up and returns it to the crib for another touchdown. And I guess I don't know whose side the momentum wants to be on, because Illinois goes out and throws another huge bomb where the wide receiver is taking it into the end zone for 6 to take the lead back. Right before Purdue just goes down and takes the lead back again. And now Illinois was in a position where they had less than a minute left to get down the field and tie the game up or take the lead. But unfortunately, the quarterback ends up throwing the ball away here, resulting in an interception leading to another loss on this Illinois season. Al did have a pretty good game, almost having 300 all-purpose yards, but it's just too bad that it wasn't enough. Going into the next game, one of Al's coaches are giving him a challenge, and he is definitely ready to face it, because he is super confident after winning Big Ten Player of the Week and National Offensive Player of the Week. So Bundy is sure to upgrade some of his abilities before going into his next game against Michigan. To start this game off, Michigan was absolutely clamping up Al Bundy, stopping him in the backfield multiple times, even here on 3rd down. Eventually, this offense would start picking up the pace and picking up big gains, but Al, being kind of selfish, ends up ruining the drive by calling for a pass that ends up getting intercepted and taken all the way back to the crib to make this a 14-point deficit. Al was doing his best to get his team back in the game, but he's also lucky that he had a team that was capable of getting back in the game themselves. Having Al Bundy, though, would prove to be a major weapon, though, especially through the air, as they passed the ball to him a lot out of the backfield. And even though he almost fumbles on this play, they're grateful for his abilities. They hand the ball off to Al before he gets in the end zone for the first touchdown on Illinois' day, but they know they have a lot of work to do. The next drive, the quarterback finds Al up the seam, and he makes a huge play up the middle, picking up a big first down. And it seemed like the theme was just get the ball to Al Bundy, because they continued to do so, and it proved to be working as he eventually would get them into the end zone for another touchdown on the day.
This quarterback on fire today.
But the quarterback would have once again thrown another pick that gets taken to the house, which put them in a really bad situation, but it was about to get even worse because he throws another interception, at least not for a touchdown. Still down 10, this team was fighting its way downfield, picking up huge plays, even though Al Bundy was struggling at times. Most of the time, though, he was contributing greatly to this team as they continued to get the ball to him out the backfield, and he was making the most of it, eventually bringing his team into the end zone towards the end of the 3rd quarter, making this a 1-possession game. But right as things seems like they were going Illinois' way, Al catches his ball over the middle and fumbles the ball. Somehow it gets scooped up and returned all the way to the end zone for another touchdown, extending their lead once again. But Illinois was still fighting, and Al Bundy was going to lead the way. They ended up getting a touchdown to a wide receiver here to cut down the lead and make it more manageable. And all game, they were just refusing to guard Al out of the backfield. So he was picking them apart play by play, and that would eventually bite them in the butt as he finds a way to get in the end zone again for his 4th touchdown of the game. But unlike high school, there wasn't really much time to celebrate because Michigan was driving downfield and was finding themselves in the end zone to take the lead once again. But Illinois had to be happy that they had a guy like Al Bundy on the team now, who could come out of nowhere and just make a huge play and flip the field like that, as he brings him down near the goal line with under 10 seconds left. Unfortunately, though, Illinois would get stuffed, resulting in them having to take a field goal. So in overtime, they knew their main objective was just to score every single time. And with Al Bundy, that seemed to be pretty easy. He brought them into the end zone, and he even got a 2-point conversion for them too. But Michigan was one of the best teams in the country for a reason. So when they tied the game up, Illinois decided to keep giving the ball to their best player, and it continued to work even here as they run the ball to the outside. Michigan ties it again and then takes the lead, leaving the game in Illinois' hands. And they were able to pick up the first 2-point conversion, but they could not pick up the second one. Meaning if Michigan gets this, they win. But Illinois' defense did not break and gave the offense another chance. And all it took was one more score, and Illinois was able to win this game 61-59 in quadruple overtime? I don't even know. Al Bundy would end up winning player of the game for scoring 5 touchdowns in this game. So he definitely has something bigger to brag about when he gets older. He would end up winning Big Ten and National Offensive Player of the Week. The following weekend, Al and his girlfriend were supposed to hang out though, so she was texting him complaining about when he'll be free.
Now, honey, how long is this game gonna take? And I mean long for me, not long for you, which is about 3.5 minutes.
You see, Peg, the thing is, it's meant to be fun. I mean, fun for me, not fun for you, which is shouting instructions with a mouthful of crackers.
He didn't really have time to deal with that right now because he's about to face off against the number 6 ranked team in the country, the Oregon Ducks. To start this game off, Illinois was doing okay, picking up a few first downs, before eventually getting stopped and held to a field goal. Al Bundy seemed to be having his way with Oregon on the ground, as he kept picking up first downs. But through the air, Oregon's defense was clamping up, and even picked the ball off here, getting the ball with good field position. But Illinois' offense was doing a lot of work this game, even without the help of Al Bundy. They got into the end zone to take the lead over Oregon, before coming right back out and then failing on their 3rd down. Oregon ended up going on one of the longest drives I've ever seen, and then capping it off with a touchdown. And after failing another 3rd down, Oregon goes on another long drive. With under 2 minutes now, Illinois needs to get down the field and either tie the game up or take the lead. And Al Bundy is going to be the one to take the lead to help get them there, as he brings them down inside the red zone. From there, they chew the clock before the quarterback throws a strike across the middle that goes into the end zone for a touchdown to take the lead back. And with under 10 seconds left, that's not enough time for Oregon to get down the field, and Illinois wins this game. And even Al can admit that quarterback definitely deserved player of the game, because Al didn't score any touchdowns, he just had a lot of yards. And looking at the standings, it seems like they might have an opportunity to play in the conference championship. They just got to keep handling their business, and Minnesota is up next. To start this game off, Bundy is powering his way downfield, but he also ruins the drive by calling for the ball in his play, resulting in a pick 6. So by the end of the 4th quarter, Illinois was down by 10 and had to make a big effort to start coming back. And although Al was once again driving his team downfield, the quarterback would throw another pick, making this game 17-0. Illinois was finding success getting themselves downfield, but they just couldn't cap off drives. At least this time they would come away with a field goal. By the 3rd quarter, they were determined to start putting touchdowns on the board, and Al Bundy wanted to be the one to do it. So they handed the ball off to him here, and he gets into the end zone for the first touchdown of the day for the Fighting Illini. Somehow only down by 7, they found themselves in a really good position to get back in this game. So they kept giving the ball to Al Bundy, who kept inflicting his will on this defense. Eventually, he would bulldoze his way into the end zone for another touchdown on the game to tie it up. They found themselves by 7 again, but it was okay because Bundy was again cruising down the field in the run game. And the only time it seemed like they wanted to tackle him was after he already crossed the goal line, because he got into the end zone again for another touchdown. Now with the game tied and the chance to take the lead, a receiver makes a nice play to get them all the way down near the goal line, where Bundy takes it in for another touchdown on his day to take the lead. And now finally with the lead, all they have to do is just chew this clock out and make it a 2-possession game at the end of this drive to pretty much put this game away. and by the end of it, Illinois was able to take a knee and catch another W. Al Bundy had over 220 yards and 4 touchdowns in this game, mostly from picking up a lot of chunk yardage. But it didn't really matter how he was picking up the yards because the country seemed to be respecting it, as he was leading in many major award categories. And I guess it made sense considering how much of a threat he was becoming in the receiving game also. But Bundy didn't want to get too ahead of himself because he had another big game coming up against Michigan State. To start this game off, Illinois had a solid drive, getting into the red zone before eventually getting stopped on 3rd down. The quarterback seemed to be locked in though, as he was throwing dimes all over the field, including a touchdown right here. Sometimes he would get a little too relaxed throwing the ball to Al out of the backfield though, because this pass goes for an interception all the way to the crib for 6. And after that, it seemed like Illinois was having a hard time keeping drives going. But they would eventually make something happen by getting a field goal before halftime. Now with the game tied up, Illinois was determined to go back down and take the lead. And Bundy was filling his role perfectly by running people over and picking up big first downs. He got them into the end zone for a touchdown to take the lead, but there wasn't really too much to celebrate about because Michigan just went down and tied it up again. But I'm telling you, there's something different about this quarterback because he throws a bomb and it goes all the way downfield where a receiver catches it and goes into the end zone for a touchdown to take the lead with under 2 minutes left now. And oh yeah, it still didn't matter because Michigan scored again. So now they know they have to run the clock all the way down to little time left, because if not, Michigan will probably just go score again. So now with under 30 seconds left, Al Bundy gets into the end zone for a touchdown to take the lead back, finally putting this game away. Except Michigan State does go down the field and scores another touchdown. Luckily though, they missed the field goal, and Illinois is able to take a knee, winning this game very closely. Al put up 120 yards on the ground with 2 touchdowns, and after the game he was feeling himself so much that he actually told a reporter that he deserves all the credit for the win. And it might be hard to disagree with that because although Illinois was a really good team, Al Bundy was showing everybody what peak male performance looks like and dominating all of his opponents. It didn't matter if he was running past you, around you, or running through you. Al Bundy knew how to get the job done. By the end of the season, Al was solidifying himself as one of the best players in the entire country. And going into the Big Ten championship against Michigan, he was actually the favorite for the Heisman. And it made sense as far as where he was with the stats. He was top 5 in rushing and number 1 in receiving. But Illinois knew going into this Big Ten championship against Michigan that they had to win, or else there was a chance that they could get knocked out of the playoffs. To start this game off, Al had some good chunk plays to get his team downfield, eventually breaking off a few tackles to get his team in the red zone, but they would get stopped on 3rd down and be held to a field goal. This game was actually largely stalemated all throughout the first half, as both teams were having trouble moving the sticks, and Al, for one of the first times of the season, fumbles the ball that actually results in Michigan scoring 3 points. He did a great job redeeming himself during the second half though, and his team fought to get downfield before they handed him the ball off at the goal line, allowing him to rush into the end zone for the first touchdown of the day. The momentum wasn't completely on Illinois' side though, because the quarterback goes out and throws an interception that gives Michigan great field position. So now in the 4th quarter, down by 6 with under 1 minute left, Illinois has to get themselves downfield and into the end zone in order to save their season. And they are fighting hard, continuing to pick up good yardage, until the quarterback eventually throws it into the end zone for a touchdown to take the lead. And with under 30 seconds left, surely there's no way that Michigan goes down the field. Illinois now has 15 seconds left to get down the field and take the lead, but unfortunately this drive just falls short. And sadly, it looks like Illinois will miss out on the playoffs. After the game, the awards for the season were given out, and as expected, Al Bundy did win Player of the Year, along with becoming the first player in the history of the Illinois Fighting Illini to win the Heisman Trophy. He won a bunch of other awards, including Best Running Back, First Team All-American, and First Team Big Ten. But the real question was whether or not they were going to make the playoffs. And they do. Facing off against the Big Ten rival, Al is used to playing in big games, so he was ready to play in this next one against Penn State. To start this game off, Illinois was down by 7, but it didn't stay that way for long as they ended up tying the game up by the end of the first quarter. And although this game was mostly a stalemate, Illinois would find themselves approaching scoring position again around the time the 2-minute warning hit. And at the goal line, they just handed the ball off to Al Bundy, who took it into the end zone to take the lead. They once again had a little bit of trouble putting points on the board after halftime, but more importantly, so was Penn State, because through the first 3 quarters, they only put up 10 points. And it wasn't easy for the defense to get off the field when Illinois was making lucky plays like this. Al Bundy gets stopped again on 3rd down, but this time it's within goal-to-goal territory, which means that they take it. It seems like Bundy has fumbled a lot lately because he fumbles the ball here to start the game. Luckily, he picks the ball up again, but this drive ends up stalling out anyway. The next drive, they start getting things going as they start to pick up first downs. They got the ball out to Bundy where he picks up a big gain and gets flipped over on the side for trying to hurdle someone. This drive would stall out though and result in a field goal, but it was okay because towards the end of the second quarter, they found Al in the flat, who took it into the end zone for a touchdown to take a lead. Although Al doesn't juke all the time, sometimes he would say hey to a defender and pick up a big gain. But oftentimes it seems like Al's best trait was saying "Wang," catching the ball and running all the way into the end zone for a touchdown. Not to mention he could jump pretty high even if no one was in front of him and get his team into the end zone for a touchdown. Almost like Clemson, Louisville didn't really seem to be trying that hard this game. Maybe it was because they were a big fan of how Al Bundy scored 4 touchdowns in one game in high school, but either way, Illinois wins this game 24-7. And led by Al Bundy, they are headed to the national championship. And the Illinois Fighting Illini have prepared all season to get ready for this game. So they were prepared to match up against Kansas State. To start this game off, Kansas State went on an insanely long drive and capped it off with a touchdown. So Illinois tried to respond by picking up some big first downs, but eventually the drive would stall out, resulting in no points. Illinois would find themselves down by 10, but making their way downfield. And with the help of Al Bundy, who went up to a defender and said, they got down near the goal line right before half, where it was a simple pitch and catch to a receiver who got into the end zone for the first touchdown for Illinois. And now with 9 seconds left, they kind of need a Hail Mary to get a points on the board. And somehow they actually pull this off, because the quarterback hits a receiver who is streaking down the field and going into the end zone for another touchdown. So luckily after halftime, Illinois is not down by too big of a deficit. The quarterback is finding people all over the field as they continue this drive. And on the 2nd down and 10, Al Bundy might have made the play of the season because somehow he gets out of this and scores a touchdown. It just dances on him like nothing happened because they just took the lead. Kansas State would snatch that lead right back though, so Illinois would have to get Al Bundy the ball in order to efficiently get this team downfield. They hand him the ball right here, he gets his team down near the goal line, where he is once again able to punch it in for another touchdown on his season. Luckily, Illinois was able to get the ball back at the goal line, but they couldn't do anything with it, resulting in a field goal. And now once again down by 3 with under 2 minutes left in this national championship, Al Bundy is making plays to get his team in position. They hand the ball off to him on an inside zone where he runs out to the edge and finds his way powering into the end zone for a touchdown to take the lead. And with around 1 minute left, we just need the defense to hold strong. And with under 30 seconds left, they don't. And now Illinois has to go back and score, which seemed to be impossible, but one catch to Al Bundy here to get them in field goal range could give them an opportunity. So Bundy comes off the field and waits for his kicker to kick the field goal, and he misses. And Kansas State has won the national championship. And this was an extremely sad day for Al Bundy, because although he did have a pretty decent game going for 91 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns, it didn't matter because they lost. And his old arch rival Spare Tire actually plays for Kansas State, so it's even worse that he lost to him. R.I.P. Bubba Smith. Objectively, Al Bundy had an incredible season, probably one of the best seasons you could have as a running back. And his old school, Polk High, must have thought so too, because they named a football field after him. It was even presented by Terry Bradshaw.
This scoreboard can only be named after one man. Al! 4 touchdowns in a single game, Bundy!
But he knows he has unfinished business. So if you want to see more Al Bundy, be sure to hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel for more. And comment down below who else you guys want to see next. If you got to this point in the video, just know that I appreciate you all for watching more than you know. I hope your favorite football teams win this weekend, and other than that, we'll catch you guys next time.